Hello again. I got nothing going on, so this is actually recorded the same day as the first video, but whatever. Um, I just had one other thing on my mind that I figured I'd talk about now before, if anything, it might help sway um, what's going on in the world, I guess, if anything. Um, One thing you will find about me is I'm very behind in a lot of like social media happenings and whatever, but um, one thing I have noticed on YouTube being recommended to me, which it's an echo chamber, right? Like I understand that happens, but I've seen a lot of videos of like these like I don't even know. It's like I think they use AI to voice the video, but they'll show clips from like TikTok of like women being absolutely like greedy, selfish, and causing a lot of damage to men's lives in general and their things, which that sucks, and that does happen for sure. But if I can be any kind of just another voice in that realm, um, I think that those videos, in my opinion, they focus a lot on bashing women and stuff, because obviously they're not all like that. Like, you have to be an idiot to think that those just speak for like all women, you know. Because there's bad men too, for sure, 100%. But my kind of take on it, what I really want to convey here is there have been like just I don't know, in my feed there's a lot of talk about a lot of that, and yeah, I watch them just to see like what is going on, but like I don't agree with the focus on the negative aspects of just like being with somebody, right? Like a woman, like a man and woman, right? Oh, they'll fuck you over, they'll take everything that you have. Yeah, and I also want to clarify my stance on dating and stuff too, and having a partner in this video, if I remember to. I don't want it to be too long, but I think we should really focus on not overcorrecting again. So if you look at things through the lens of those videos, right, you have like the 50s where the man goes to work, the woman stays home, right? I don't agree with that either. You know, I think that in a family with kids, there should be one parent working and the other one staying home. I understand things are a lot more expensive now. In an ideal world, that's how it would be, right? Like somebody works, somebody stays home and raises the kids. I don't care who has what role, quite frankly, but so it seems to me, again, I'm just some guy, but it seems to me that, you know, if you look at the 50s where the men had all the control, and then you look at the way these videos are trying to convey reality, where it's like women have all the control and they're so promiscuous and with a bunch of guys. There's a lot of guys who are players, and I'm not condoning or criticizing that too heavily. I don't personally agree with it. There was a time where I did agree with it, but like where I thought it was pretty sick. I never was a player. I don't consider myself to have been a player, but I really am searching for like loyalty to something, to someone, you know. That's what I want now. And until I find somebody that wants that too, and you know, we just connect, then I'm not gonna force it anymore. Like I'm not gonna try and force it. Like it just works or it doesn't, I guess. For me, like if I see somebody, someone goes, oh, she's hot, you should go talk to her. It's just, I don't know. I don't have the money right now to get into it. I really don't have the emotional bandwidth to accept that right now. And some people be like, oh, you're just a pussy, blah blah blah. Like, sure. Fine, call me that. I don't care really. Like, I gotta figure myself out before I can provide for anybody. And I want to be a provider in a relationship and bring something to the table that's meaningful, you know? Because, yeah, I don't know. It's like hobbies are great. And I have a lot of hobbies. Like, I play guitar. Well, I don't play it very well, but I'm learning guitar. And I practice guitar and I try to play. I draw, like, on a tablet. I like cooking. I think I keep a pretty clean house. But I personally have experienced a lot of drama in the dating realm, and everybody does. I understand that. I'm not blind to that, but it's just it takes a big toll on me, especially for myself. Like, I have a history of in my past, like, my parents are divorced, and a lot of people's parents get divorced. It's not a crazy thing anymore, but I know it affected me in certain ways, and so I have a tendency to look at relationships for their flaws, like, right away. So that probably takes away from my opinion a lot when I talk about this subject, but I'm working on it. I'm working on myself. I want to have a happy relationship and be with somebody really cool, but I'm not rushing into that. I really got to figure out me first, and college is a great step in that direction, a pretty big milestone. So I'll see where it brings me, but I just think we should really focus on not overcorrecting again, because if you look at these videos and their content, see, they tend to go, oh, the women are the bad ones now, right? The bad people or whatever, like the bad group. We should avoid them. I see groups of, like, dudes just totally like shunning, like, people and stuff because of that, and it's just like, man, like, we just need to not overcorrect again. We always tend, in history, I feel like overcorrecting is just a common theme. So I don't know, we're probably never going to fix that, but I think we're overcorrecting again, because now it's like they almost want to bring it back to that. To me, it feels like they want to bring it back to that 1950s kind of stuff, and it's like, no, it's just, there's a way to do it, you know. And I've, like, my one friend has a great relationship from what I've seen anyway. Like, they are a team, you know, and it's not like one person's like the piggy bank and the other person just gets to spend all the money. It's nothing like that. Like, that's a toxic fucking dynamic. No, they're an actual team. Like, when they talk about a future, it inspires me to actually give a shit and try to be a better person, you know. So if anyone's watching this, and I just hope it comes as a different take and maybe a breath of fresh air, and just be like, listen, like, I don't think that way. I hope there's other people that don't think that way too. I'm not trying to stir the pot again. It'd be nice to have some fucking adults, people trying to, like, what's that show, Mad Men? I think it was only a couple episodes in, but he was looking at these kids playing in, like, a playhouse, and he's like, look at all these kids playing as adults, you know, or playing like they're grown up. And then he goes inside the house and he looks at all the actual adults in there, and he's like, these people are doing the same exact thing, or like, that's what it was conveying. It was really cool. Or like cool, but also true, and like, frankly, scary a little bit, but because that's reality, you know. A lot of adults are so childish, and I'm sure I'm childish in some ways too. I don't know, but I think we shouldn't overcorrect again, you know, because there was the whole, like, I don't want to get too political on this channel, but just like, you know, you have like the movements that are just blaming men for all the problems, and, you know, they overcorrected. In my opinion, they overcorrected. right? We need to find, so maybe we've each had our turn now. I don't know. We've each had our fun. Now it's time to be a team, but it's not gonna happen. It's the world. It's not gonna happen. I wish it did. Maybe this is why people start compounds and cults. Start a cult, everybody. No, I don't have the money for that. So yeah, I don't know. I just think I don't really know if I got to all the points that I wanted to in this video, but I don't want it to be too long. That was something that's on my mind. And I think there's probably a lot of guys in those echo chambers, and it's not it is your fault when you don't accept new information and you just shrug off any alternative opinions when they have a lot of good points to make. I think that's your fault when you just refuse to accept any new information you don't like. I think you should consider this at least. What are you bringing to the table as a man? To the men who might watch this video, what are you bringing to the table? Do you keep a clean house? Do you know how to cook? Do you listen to your partner, like, when they're hurt? Do you actually try and fix the way that you act? And again, I know there's boundaries there. Like, you can overstep boundaries big time, because sometimes you get people that are toxic and they tell you how to behave, and then when you're out of all of that, you start realizing, like, fuck, they were trying to make me into some kind of, they were manipulating me to be a worse version of myself, and I was just trying to impress them, right? I've seen that happen too. It happened to me in a different kind of way, but again, more subjects for later videos, I guess. But it really fucked me up. Like, I didn't even, kind of had a bit of a crisis almost, like, just like, it almost rewires your brain to think differently, and you almost forget who you are. And I don't want that to happen again, but I haven't had feelings for someone like that since. So who knows, maybe I'm just as susceptible. That could be, I don't know. But I need to know that I have good ground to stand on when I come back out of something like that, because if I'm still working sales jobs, and for me, it's just not for me. I don't like those kinds of jobs. I don't get paid enough to deal with the shit, and I don't care about the job either. I don't care about the corporate structure. I don't care about any of that, you know? But the blue collar workforce, like I was saying to a coworker of mine quite recently, is like, those are the people that I go out and have a beer with. You won't see me. I hate going out to bars with like posh people, think they're better than everybody. I fucking hate that. I hate that. I just want to go out and have fun. Talk about some shit that has no filter, but no one gets offended. You know what I mean? Like, you get offended because you don't get context with a lot of the shit that I say. Like, I only don't like people, for example, when they're assholes. If you're an asshole, I'm not gonna like you. Guess what? That shouldn't be fucking news. That shouldn't be fucking new to you. If you're a dick, I'm not gonna talk to you. If you're an asshole, I don't want to be around you. No, I don't know. There are people out there that just put themselves around assholes. I guess, hats off to them, I guess. They need someone to hang out with. I don't know. But trying not to be an asshole in this life. But yeah, I don't know. And women too. My question would go to you as well. What do you bring to the table? Are you just looking pretty? Or if your man talks to you, are you actually listening? Do you really give a shit about what they're saying? Both parties. Like, do you care about the other person? Do you actually give a shit and listen? Because if you don't, you should just cut it off or fix it or something. I don't know how to fix it. You have to go to therapy for that. I'm not fucking licensed, alright? But something's got to be done. Because I tell you, There was a morning I woke up and I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Not with a partner, just with myself. Like, why am I living my life this way? Like, I'm not moving forward, you know? That sucks. For me, that is a terrible feeling. I hate it. I hate being stuck. So if you're stuck in a relationship or anything, and again, I'm not a therapist, don't take my word for it. Like, don't just take it as the be all end all. It's just an alternative opinion. It's just my opinion. For people that might not have someone to like give them this angle of advice, I don't know. Take it for what you will, I guess. But yeah, like, just bring something to the table. Oh, I got 4 4-wheelers, a lifted truck, and a big house. Okay, and you're a dick. I'm not saying they're all dicks, but you know what I mean. It's just like, you have no idea how to be a decent human being. You got a lot of stuff. You figured out how to get a lot of things and money, but you have no idea how to be a good person. No, I buy her gifts. Okay. You know, if you guys are both shallow enough that buying things for each other all the time is enough, then hats off to you. Hats off to you. I don't know how to change your mind, but I grew up in a house with where we had enough money to get by, but the people that my parents became, I don't know if I'll ever go into more detail, but there's a reason I moved out of that house quite as early as I could, and I lived with my mom after. It makes you toxic. And there's some people out there that can have a lot of money and they're really chill and everything, but it's rare. From what I've seen, it's rare. But I might totally misunderstand relationships. Maybe if there's no fighting, then it's not fun. I don't know. Truthfully, I've never had a long-term relationship. That's like, if you want honesty from me, yeah, that's it. It's just because the people that I chose, the women that I chose to be with, to hang out with, were, it's not their fault. There was one girl that was really cool, 2 girls that were really cool. One girl that I hung out with, I should have known better. And the other one, I just refused to. I was the idiot, and I refused to understand the situation for what it was. And another one was just a sad situation all around. But I don't know if I'll ever get into that, but it's one of those things where it's like, who am I to say anything, right? Because I don't have any long-term relationships. So, I mean, my friend group, I love those guys like brothers, get along really good with my actual brother and my mom as well, and my dad too. But yeah, like, I have really good friendships and family relationships. I'm very honest with my friends and family. The problem is that I couldn't be. Problem is, when I was honest in like intimate relationships, I just found that there's a lot that I need to work on with myself too. Just a lot to do with like my history, and yeah, just what I'm looking for didn't match up to what people were bringing to the table. There's a lot of luggage, and it's not their fault. In all but one of the situations where I was hanging out with a chick, it's not their fault at all. They've had some bad experiences themselves, and yeah, just really sad altogether, and just some tormented people that I found out, you know. And that's what you get for hanging out with people from Tinder, but that was only one. The other ones were like, you know, coworker and a friend of a friend, and she was all right though. She was actually really cool, but another one was just a bad choice. I should have known better. It was a working, you know, worked at a club, if you catch my drift. So I should have known better on that one. But anyway, it's just what I see from a third perspective, you know. It comes down to people like understanding themselves and what they bring to the table and what their partner should also bring to the table. You need to be ready on some level for a relationship, for sure. But there's such a weird line between like dramatic excitement, if that makes sense, and toxic and toxicity, I guess, you know, and playing games, I guess, stupid games, ones that waste time and break your heart and take advantage of people and things, and it's not doesn't sound fun to me. I don't want that. I never have wanted that, ever. My parents like gave me enough reason to not want any of that. So exhausting. Like, coming home to a household that's not happy but has a lot of things is very, very weird, you know. It sucks. So I don't want that going forward, and so I hated money, the idea of money, for a long time. Having enough, like, I live in a shared house, 5 roommates including me. 4 roommates, the 5th one being me, share a house together. So I'm by no means, like, I've got like just enough to get through school, if that. Like, I might have to get a job while I go to school, and that sucks. But that's why I'm in the trades course, to be able to hopefully have better work and make a nice house for myself down the line, buy a fixer-upper or something. That's the plan anyway. But I don't know, if you're out there goofing off, fooling around with every Tom and Bob in town or whatever, ask yourself honestly, you know. I'm not classifying myself as any type of guy, but I don't find that shit attractive anymore. It's not fun anymore, you know. Oh, you're just a pussy. Okay, well, you can have those people. I don't care. Like, I don't want that anymore, you know. I want, put it this way, when I went out to Montreal years ago, it was Canada Day weekend, and I went out to Montreal with my buddies, and we had actually forgotten it was Canada Day weekend. And I'll just finish the video with this story. But when we go out there, I'm not saying that physical appearance is all that matters, because I think, like I said, I'm looking for somebody that actually wants to build something, who's honest and loyal, and there's little white lies you can tell, and that's fine, but I need honesty and I need dedication. Like, I want to actually, like, build a future, like, or else what's the fucking point? Like, I'm not really looking to just waste time anymore. So yeah, when we went out to Montreal, there was not one woman out there below a 7 on like the 1 to 10 scale, in my opinion. No one below a 7. Most of them were like 9s and 8s. It's rare for a 10, but 7, 8, 9, all, I would say 7 is arguably the most marriage material. for me, like, it's kind of second video, but here's what I like, you know, but like a little bit of like mascara or fucking eyelash shit or whatever on a chick is almost all they need. Seriously, you know? Overdoing the makeup and stuff, like, in my opinion, is just it taken away from your natural good looks, you know? And like, I don't know. There's some chicks that dudes don't look twice at that I'm like, man, like, she's really, really pretty, like, naturally beautiful, and like, there's no guys like pursuing her, and like, probably like, well, why don't you pursue her? Well, it's because of the money thing again, and I gotta make sure that I know the ground that I'm standing on. I need to have something really good to offer, really cool that I'm working on, something to sidetrack me so I'm not sitting by the phone waiting for the text back or something like that, you know what I mean? Because I've been there, and that sucks. I need to have something going on, you know? You don't hear back from me because I'm actually fucking busy, you know? That might, maybe I sound like an idiot. Whatever. You know what? It's an honest video. Sticking to that. So, yeah, but Montreal, no one below a 7. And the reason, I think, is because they all dress so classy. If you ever go to high school, in high school, if you had a French class, like French classes and then English classes, when I was in high school, which would have been 6 years ago, maybe 7, or whatever it was. Man, that's crazy. But like, the women that taught those French classes dressed very sophisticated, and I'm not saying to go out and buy a $400 dress or anything like that. It's just what they were wearing wasn't like so revealing. It was just very feminine and very nice looking. It was almost like when you see it sounds so weird, but like, if you like see like an old church or something, you look at all the fantastic architecture, you know, and then you just look at like a new building and there's just nothing. Like, they did their own modern thing, and it's not the same. It's not elegant. There was an elegance to those women, and they were so beautiful, man. Like, I remember the jaw dropping. Like, and we're not pigs. I don't think we're pigs or perverted or anything like that, but like, there was a lot of very, very attractive women, just because they looked like they took care of themselves, and they looked like they took themselves seriously. That's, I think, the big thing. It looked like they were successful. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And we come back to Ottawa, and 1 in every 20 chicks maybe turned our head. Like, seriously, it was like, and you know what? Again, I don't like to call people, like, I don't like the word ugly or anything based on physical appearance. I don't like that. But it's just trashy. You know, I don't want to be with someone who's trashy, man. Like, I've hung out with a trashy chick. I was the one that worked at the club. Like, if she ever sees this, she'll recognize my face. And she was cool, but trashy, for sure. I made bad decisions. That was not good. Maybe another video, but anyway, I don't want this to carry on anymore. But anyway, take care of yourself and really focus on what you bring to the table that's of value, is my take on it. That's what I'm working on myself. I'm not saying this as a master. I don't even have a relationship, but I just know that for there to be any hope for myself of being happy in a relationship, I need to have my own shit going on, so that I'm not totally, like, one other thing I'll say is there's a reason why I'm on my own right now in a house full of other roommates that I'm just meeting this year. Like, they're great people, but I'm just meeting them now and not living with my friends. And it's because I found that with myself, I kind of tend to do what the people I care about are kind of gravitating towards. But the thing is, my friends are all very science-based, and they're into a scientific career, and I'm just not much of a man of, like, I don't want to pursue science the way that they want to pursue science. I like the level of work that carpentry and the trades will bring. I like that level of work myself. But the thing is I just felt that I couldn't grow as an adult hanging around with my friends all the time, like living with them. Like I love my friends, like, but I just need to be on my own to, again, find the ground that I'm standing on. And I hope that, like, more people think like that. I think a lot of people that work for themselves, like landlords and stuff, who are good landlords, they think that way. You know, but anyway, I think I'm gonna end it there. Yeah, take care of yourself and find good ground to stand on, so you can provide, and not to a fault. Just bring something to the table. Figure out what you bring to the table, I think, is a big one. All right, cheers.